Hi.
Hi, Natalie.
Would you prefer I call you Cheesehead?
Whatever you want. I'm a very proud cheesehead. But I think I'll have to take it off.
I think you will. You're going to feel very uncomfortable in that.
And it's shedding cheese.
Shedding cheese.
That's great.
I think you and I have the same sense of humor. Who are you?
I'm Ray Richardson, and I'm the owner and dealer at Motorcity Mitsubishi here in Whitby. This is a great vehicle. I obviously sell them, and this is the plug-in hybrid SUV, which is sort of unique in its class. There's not many in the electric hybrid world. There's not a lot of SUVs, and this vehicle is actually one of the best technology-wise in its class, and there's not many other ones out there that are as affordable.
No.
So it's priced well for the market, and I think it's the kind of vehicle that's useful around here because most families need an SUV.
Yes, they do. So thank you very much for your generosity. This is our last chat with Nat of the 2019 season. So I am driving around our title sponsor, which maybe you should be driving me. We hadn't actually discussed this, so this is a little odd that you're monitoring how I'm treating this vehicle.
I am. I'm getting to see how you actually use it.
So tell me a little bit more about this vehicle. Is it a PHEV? What does that mean? What does that acronym mean?
It means it's a plug-in hybrid electric vehicle.
Plug-in hybrid electric vehicle. Okay.
So there's electric vehicles out there that operate just on batteries.
Right.
And so I think one of the first ones was Prius, was a Toyota using another company name. Was well known, and then the hybrids came in because people said I'm worried about the battery not taking me far enough, or I'm worried about range anxiety is the word that's used. A battery will run out and I have no fuel.
Yeah.
So the hybrid was set up as the backup with gas. Some are sort of, you run on gas with a backup with electric for around town, and other ones run on battery with a backup of gas to charge the battery. So we're the latter. This is really an electric vehicle
until I have no more power.
Until we have more power, and then it'll switch to gas to go it. Or if you're driving on the highway and need extra power, the gas engine will come on then too. So
and it does so automatically. Like I don't have to do anything.
No, you can become involved as much as you want in the vehicle, it'll manage it for you, or you can say, no, I'd like to manage this a little bit. So the best place to use electric is around town, because that's where if you're stop and go and like here.
Yeah.
Mitsubishi actually has a 10-year warranty on our vehicles, which makes us unique in the world.
Wow, including the electric
battery.
Oh my goodness, okay.
So the engine and transmission and the battery are covered for 10 years. So, actually people are keeping cars longer, but I don't think many people keep a car longer than 10 years. So, with a range of 160,000 K. So if you're driving a lot, you could also over the barrier, but I think that to me has, again, taken away that concern.
Right.
Motorcity has been around since 1987.
Okay.
And so, in fact, my wife started it initially, and it was originally a GM division called Passport. And then when Saturn came along in '92, they converted it to Saturn, which was great. And so the Motorcity name has existed for a long time. And then in the late 2000s, 2009 exactly, GM decided that there was a financial crisis then, and they were downsizing, and they just eliminated Saturn totally. So we were all of a sudden sitting with another company and a building and people, and we sort of had to convert. So Mitsubishi actually approached us at the time, and I didn't know a lot about Mitsubishi. There's none sold in the area at the time. And so we looked at it and said, small car, small SUV, that's how Saturn started. And everything I read about them in terms of quality was excellent. So we said, well, let's go on with the Mitsubishi line. So we converted then. So in 2010 we started with Mitsubishi, and it's been one of those processes when you have we call it a greenfield site. You've got to make people aware of the car. Some people have a hard time saying the word. It's just all those things. So we've been doing that ever since, and I've been very happy with the quality. The other thing we tried to do in the process was, we'd always had in the Saturn world a straightforward selling process. Let's just lay out the car. Let's not do a lot of dickering. Let's just make sure we got the right vehicle for you at the right price.
Right.
And all fits in your budget. So we still have that same philosophy now. And sometimes for the real bargain hunters, you don't always win the deal, but I think most people realize the value we're giving, and they like the fact that, yeah, we're straightforward, both in our sales and our service side. So we just try to balance it so it makes it work for people. And we're selling vehicles in the end. I mean, we're not selling, racing cars or exotic vehicles. We're just selling transportation. So what makes sense for you? Transportation
that happens to be great for the environment.
When we converted to Mitsubishi, then I was a small dealer again, and I only had so much budget. So I sort of look at projects that are starting up and say, how can I help? I'm also a member of the Rotary Club, which is good. So there's a way to help with Rotary sometimes when I can't help. I can take it there. But I look at projects. So we started, for instance, their opportunity when they first came to us. It was just a smaller organization that was going, and I said, this makes a lot of sense. And I liked the fact that they would help students and young people in sports. But I also like the fact that they made them volunteer as part of the program. And I said, that just makes good sense. And a lot of very positive things came out of it, which not everyone, I think, realizes. If you're always helping in the community, Then Joanne's house, when it was first starting up, Joanne's house is located in Ajax. And while it's really sort of not in our direct community, it was a youth shelter. And I said, all the youth are using us in Durham. And it was the one that was focused on. So we helped there initially in the early stages, both through car washes and things like that.
Oh, neat.
And just to get the awareness out.
Yeah.
And then, the other one that was interesting for me was Durham AIDS. Because of some of my work in Rotary, I became very familiar with the AIDS challenges in the world. And then I said, well, what about our own community? So we went back and looked at it here. And so Durham AIDS sort of we were trying to find ways to help them. And one of the things that came up a couple of years ago was they were trying to put together Christmas hampers. But they had a very limited space. And they said, well, could you help us? And I said, I can. I've actually got a parts area that I can open up to you because we're not using it all. And so every year for many years we would collect the food there. And then they would assemble it and then send it out.
So is the Cheesehead related to Mitsubishi?
No, the Cheesehead is my own thing. I'm a Green Bay Packers fan, so anyone who understands the NFL will understand that
Tell me more.
There's a group of people out there from Green Bay, Wisconsin. And why Green Bay, Wisconsin? I've actually been to a game there. I thought it was the most Canadian-like place in the NFL. It's up north.
So I never understand how you end up aligning to a particular team from the U.S. So that was the rationale?
The rationale was sort of that. They were there. They were sort of closest to being Canadian.
John Vickery from Vickery Electric.
And so I thought that was one of the things. And one of the original coaches, Vince Lombardi, is infamous in the quotation and football world. And so it was just sort of, that's a good team. So I've been down to a game. This is a town of 120,000, 30,000 people, if you can imagine, sort of like the size of Whitby. They have a stadium that'll seat 80,000, and it fills.
Wow.
Every home.
And obviously it's a good team because they won on the weekend.
They won on the weekend. My streak is I get to wear this Cheesehead on the weekend after they're just doing. People say, "Have you lost a bet?" No, I said, "Actually, we won. I'm celebrating."
That's right. This is your form of celebration.
It is. Actually, I played Canadian football, so I played for the Royal Military College of Football. And so.
What position?
I was offensive center, defensive end. So one of those big lineman kind of guys. And loved the game. I like both games.
Don't you find Canadian football harder?
It's because it's 3 downs versus 4. It's there's more risk involved. There's more risk involved. You have to you have to take more chances.
That's right.
Always on that 3rd down. Are you going to go for it, or whereas in American football, when they get to the 4th down, it's sort of
What's Ray's parting wisdom?
You should always enjoy life, like what you do, and I found ways when I'm giving back to the community, it's always been more rewarding for me. Than when I do things and help people, I just all of a sudden see, you know what? I'm a lucky guy. We are lucky.
Okay, we need to take a selfie with your Cheesehead. Do you mind?
No, that's okay.
Thank you for doing this and for your generosity. I'm hoping more people learn about
the Green Bay Packers.
Well, no.
There we go.
There you go.